action, but that is not actually how it went. It's just going to be a side swap over.
So in terms of the pick order, exactly the same, but obviously the sides have swapped. But yeah, we'll be pretty similar to game one. Obviously, being that it's Fearless, we'll see priorities change a good amount. We immediately get Gen.G banning that Poppy, which didn't even get a look in. Now, notably, Poppy did get quite a few changes on this patch, trying to trim down her sort of bruiser jungle style and make her more into sort of tank that you might expect to see in like top lane.
Yep.
But from what we've seen at Casper Cup still being played despite the changes.
Yeah, also still being banned a heck of a lot. So a couple of mid lane bans to come on through here by KT. Not going to see the gambles. Saw a lot of gambles of the Cassio and Orianna, but not this series by the looks of things, as that one is just going to be taken away every single time. Chovy not allowed to play either the Orianna or the Cassio. As Brad going to be removed by Gen.G. So Effort not going to be playing that one. One last ban to come through, probably Nocturne, I would say. And then we will have basically the same bans as last time, with Syndra being the one left up as a result.
Yeah, I feel like the Syndra was kind of telegraphing the rise. I feel like now with the Bard and the Poppy bans, are they looking for a Jarvan potentially? I feel like Jarvan struggles into both of those champions, so that's the pick that comes to my mind. But we'll see what they opt to prioritize here in this first pick situation. Obviously, Canyon had a phenomenal game in game one.
Yeah.
Really controlling the pace.
Is it just Nocturne? It does feel like the top of the tier list, at least for now. Maybe doesn't want it. The Jarvan up and available. And certainly one that Canyon has loved forever. Even off-meta Jarvan he would go towards. He was actually Jarvan in one of our intros as well, if we remember back a little while. That was when he wasn't even really playing it very much.
I think they did a good job of setting up for it by getting rid of the Poppy and the Bard, but there's still picks like Ezreal, which was banned last draft, now available, which do a pretty good job at circumventing the impact of the Cataclysm. So I imagine KT will opt to prioritize that Ezreal here. The Bard ban and the fact that Karma's unavailable does play into that, though, and make the Ezreal's pairings a little bit weaker. We've obviously seen Ezreal have quite a lot of success when he's paired up with roamers, things like the
like Shen and Camille.
Like but we obviously saw the changes have kind of disincentivized that a bit. So I'm interested to see what KT go for when they pair up with it. It doesn't necessarily have to be now, though. They end up going for the Nocturne instead, and securing that other high prior jungle who's available.
I think that's a decent choice here for KT. See whether it is going to be a support not locked in for Effort, or whether it'll be something else, maybe a high priority mid laner that is still up and available after these next round of picks do come in. Gen.G, this could just be a bottom lane that they decide to lock in, right? But instead, with the Olaf taken away, the Jayce value goes up. And if you do want to round out your bottom lane, then you'll have to suffer some Yorick bans, things like this, and Perfect Life becomes a little bit more difficult. And that is a Ziggs. Possibly for Chovy, but also possibly for Ruler.
Yeah,
don't really see Ruler as the Ziggs guy, though.
Yeah, he's played it a little bit, but it's something we've seen less and less of recently. And it's also something that has obviously been hit a bit by the increased magic resist on all these AD carries. KT opt to lock in that top lane matchup into the Jayce. We've seen the Cassante do pretty well into the Jayce, scale up. And as long as you don't fall too far behind, you can just be more useful in team fights. But Kiin obviously very accomplished at sort of twisting the knife when he gets those leads.
Yeah. And I think Canyon can also play towards that top side as well and try to make the Cassante's life a little bit more difficult. A hard lane to gank, obviously, with the Pathmaker available. But we are going to see the Nautilus taken away here. And Duro, I think maybe it's like Nautilus Leona going to be the ban, something like that. But you can't ban everything.
Yeah.
As they also want the Shen, things like this. In order to make this lane work. And with Camille also still up and available, it's going to be so hard to find enough supports to make Gen.G uncomfortable.
Yeah, Gen.G trimming away some of these picks that you'd expect to sort of go alongside a dive-focused composition, which that comp very much is. You look at Gen.G, that Jayce, Ziggs is something we've seen a few times, playing around that poke, playing around, keeping the enemy team at a distance. KT know that they have to commit to closing the gap. I will say with the Nautilus band, Leona, the reason why both these supports pair quite well with Ziggs is they have quite a lot of damage themselves. Camille also does. Because Ziggs obviously has a limited amount of burst, and if the support's providing a good amount of damage while locking them in place, it allows that 100-0.
Yep. And Hextech Ultimatum Mega Inferno Bomb combo is kind of ridiculous. Just eliminating someone.
Also just very good into Ezreal. You know, Jarvan said Ezreal can obviously circumvent the Cataclysm to an extent. You can't do that with the Hextech Ultimatum. And banning the Nico, we've seen a few Nocturne Nicos come out in the LCK recently to great effect. Lehens had that phenomenal engage.
Yep.
That featured in the Mad movie. And we get this Seraphine coming out from KT. I was wondering what they would pair with the Ezreal. All of the traditional pairings gone. And they opt to go for this, which, you know, gives them a stronger lane than if they went a melee support. But also, when you engage with the Nocturne, as long as Seraphine's close enough, you can kind of fire the ult across it all for great effect.
I want to see Sylas Leona. Or Sylas Shen. That's fine as well. I just feel like Sylas would be so valuable here in this draft. Paranoia is a great steal, and the Encore is incredible. And they're hovering it for the moment, but Duro hovers quite a few things.
Yeah, I think maybe the Irelian Soul value not as high as the Sylas value in this draft specifically. We know Chovy's gone to this.
He just really does like the dragon, though.
Yeah.
He does like the champ. But I don't think this is going to be locked in. I want to see the Sylas. Give me a Sylas. Oh, that's a fun one, too. Is the Lissandra to be locked in, able to abuse the newly changed Imperial Mandate about as well as the Galio does.
Yeah, and we know how much fun Chovy's had in Galio, just doing insane amounts of damage on a champion who has way too many defensive stats for that to be okay. KT looking at Syndra. BDD phenomenal on this pick and could definitely find himself some good pressure in lane. But I feel like specifically into Gen.G's comp, this isn't the highest value pick just because you're into a Jarvan Cataclysm. The Shen and the Lissandra can make your ult not as reliable. Like you ult someone, they get a Shen shield. You ult some Lissandra, she just self-ults. And I think this poke sort of composition often does very well. Like it's poke and it's engage, and those things can sometimes be an issue for Syndra. She's good into Jarvan, I will say that much. As much as the Cataclysm can cause problems, she's good at interrupting the flag and drag. So I think KT, we kind of have a mix-up in terms of the bot lanes. We've obviously seen the changes to incentivize teams to keep their bot lanes bot, keep their supports bot. And on Gen.G's side, they've gone, well, we think roaming works anyway with this composition, whereas KT have gone, we want to win lane and scale up with this bot lane specifically. So we'll see how those go. I think it's interesting that there's a lot of agency once again in the mid-jungle for Gen.G with the Lissandra and the Jarvan, something it seems they're prioritizing pretty heavily.
Yeah, I actually kind of like it, though, from Gen.G to really mix up the win conditions between Game 1 and now. Game 1 was a lot more, we're just going to play a front-to-back team composition, and we are going to run you down, and we will win. This time, it's a lot of poke, but I like the anti-dive that a Lissandra adds specifically. I think that was kind of an ace in the hole type of pickup here because they can play defensively very well.
Ace in the hole is a Kaelin ability.
Oh, my bad. Okay, yeah, she's not in the game just yet. Hopefully we make it to a Game 3, get a Caitlyn game in.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 2. Already seeing a little bit of a scuffle between everyone. Chovy just going to get some defensive wards down. Chat, why are we talking about onions? There's a lot of onions in chat at the moment. It's a bit confusing. I'm sure that's probably Dagon's fault. Do you think that's Dagon's fault?
Everything is Dagon's fault.
Yeah, well, that's...
Just assume everything's Dagon's fault, and then if it isn't, you know...
It's your fault.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. I guess that's helping me a lot.
Yeah.
Either it's Dagon's fault or it's yours. That's right. Jiwoo and Effort actually doing a good job here in this earlier stage. And I think this Seraphine Ezreal is going to be a lot of power in this early game.
Yeah, both bot laners have TP here, something we obviously see all the time from Ziggs. But Jiwoo, we've seen sometimes the Ezreals go and teleport to match the Ziggs, make sure that they can keep up with a bit of tempo. Duro notably going for Spellbook, which can have a lot of value, having those extra summoners. But in lane, not as much power as like the Aftershock.
Yeah. Oh, and Dan, I'm sorry. It wasn't actually your fault. It was Chronicle's fault. I should have known.
He's the other person you blame.
Yes, exactly. And I should have known better, and I apologize for throwing you under the bus. That was my fault. And hopefully I will be better in the future. All right, Chovy and BDD just sitting at 400 health, just doing their very best to trade as effectively as possible. I imagine that the Syndra should have a fair bit of control of this lane. The damage potential from the Lissandra isn't the most massive.
Oh, Canyon looking for an angle. BDD in trouble.
Oh, the very late claw take, but that scatter was brilliant onto Canyon. I'm really glad that you, tell us why the Syndra is good, and then we get an example of exactly why immediately.
Yeah, and
this was 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
BDD is also just very good at it, so shuts down that gank attempt. And Chovy even getting the flash there. So pretty heavy investment for that not to pay off. In the meantime, bot lane suffering, struggling. And one thing that's definitely going to come to play. Last game was so much about KT needed to set the pace of the game and they couldn't. This game, they have a Cassante who's going to get shields from the Seraphine into a composition that just really doesn't have that much damage, that much consistent damage. So I think there's a little bit more emphasis on Gen.G to get the ball rolling in this one.
Yeah, and also to keep Perfect down. As soon as Perfect gets a few items, you're right, I think he's going to be immortal in this game. Unless Kiin does some very strange build that can actually do damage to tanks. But if he does that, he's not going to have the damage to the squishies that you would want. Flash in from Cuzz. Looking for Chovy here. He's only level 4, doesn't have that Frozen Tomb. Does have the claw available relatively soon, but he's not going to be able to use it. And Cuzz is just going to take him down. That is first blood here at 3.5 minutes.
So just great timing from Cuzz. BDD clearly telling him, claw is down, you can come gank right now. And Cuzz wastes no time and commits the flash immediately because he knows that cooldown is available. So Chovy, not having the flash from before, not having the claw available right then. Lissandra, typically a very safe mid laner, hard to gank. And Nocturne, not the champion you expect to be finding early ganks on the mid lane. So this was great for KT.
Yeah, beautifully played. Effort was also roaming up, so there was just kind of no hope for Chovy, as he is just going to be taken down there unceremoniously.
Yeah, Canyon saw that happening and was like, you know what? I can't help with this. I will take the Raptors.
Nice.
And
at least he absolutely did do that.
He did get them, so fair play.
Yep. 500 gold the lead for both the jungle and mid here for KT. And looking just so much better. I think this, like you were talking about before, this draft feels a lot more playable here in this game. And I imagine that is going to give them a little bit more hope this time around as well. Especially Chovy being well and truly kept down. 4 CS behind, but mainly that assist coming on through and the plate being picked up here by BDD, able to accelerate him towards this mid-game very comfortably. Also, Boots 2 picked up feels very nice.
Yeah. We did see, though, is it going to get cleared out by Cuzz? No, he doesn't see it. So this control ward gets placed here by Chovy. He's not level 6 yet. Go on bot before you're level 6. Probably not the right timing for Lissandra, but he puts his ward down to kind of cover his route. So I have no doubt that when Chovy does hit level 6, he's going to try and make a path down towards the bot lane.
Oh, all right. Circle of Frost does come on in, but BDD not going to be engaged on here by Canyon.
Yeah, and then Canyon comes and clears out this control ward. So there's an angle Chovy could take straight to the bot lane. And if you see how Jiwoo and F have been playing the lane, very far forward.
Oh, yeah.
Lissandra behind you would be a death sentence. And Chovy, with a few more points in his queue, is starting to get more prio in the mid lane.
Able to start wiping out these waves. Effort moving over, finds a nice beat drop onto Duro as Cuzz on the level 5 for now, but he is 1 camp away. This Scuttle will give him that level 6, or this Dragon, which he is on right now. The Krug camp being taken here by Canyon. He's very far away from this bottom side of the map where all this action is about to unfold. Really dangerous that Cuzz is about to hit such an early paranoia. Might be able to throw that down towards the bottom lane.
Perfect has been doing pretty well in this matchup. He's lost a plate, he's a little bit down in gold, but keep it up in CS. And once you hit level 6, you just pose so much more threat in the matchup. Jayce can't just walk up to the tower and hit it freely anymore. So he is in a pretty good position. They're actually looking top our Gen.G right now for the Cassandra.
Oh dear. Yeah, and they found him. Perfect is going to eat a little bit of honey fruit here, but he cannot tank forever, as the Frozen Tomb comes in. There's the flash, and the Claw of Doom comes on through. And the Frozen Thrall going to do a bit of damage here to Cuzz. Jiwoo now taking a lot of damage as well. As Rule, I don't know how that all happened, as KT had so much control here in this bottom lane, but it's starting to fall apart.
Yeah, Jiwoo overstepping a little bit. Didn't obviously get to see exactly how that happened, but I imagine it might have involved a tower hit somewhere.
Looks a bit like that.
Yeah, did manage to back off. Perfect getting taken down on that top lane play doesn't feel fantastic. He was honestly close to surviving, but it does not go his way. Ruler.
He doesn't have a lot of blue stuff.
Yeah, he's also very low on BDDs coming with ult, so I think you're just dead.
Yeah, and Duro is not able to get out in time as well as the heal.
Oh, the stun!
The scatter is so good from BDD. This guy's Syndra is incredible, but it's a 1-for-1, and that's not exactly what they're looking for. Now Kiin is able to single out Effort, who has no mana himself. Conqueror going to proc, and there is a flash, but okay, Kiin not electing to follow. I think he could have got that kill if he decided to use that ability, but instead saving it for a more opportune moment later on.
Yeah, I think you could have flashed, you could have got the kill, you could have got the gold, or you hold it, and then in a future setup, you can win a whole fight on the back of targeting the Seraphine.
Yep.
We actually see him buffer there, the CC, and then if he ulted Chovy over the wall, maybe he would have got it, but he just didn't quite get him close enough. Here, this stun BDD was phenomenal, but the taunt from Duro is also very solid to turn it around. And then Kiin just hitting Effort. Obviously, Effort still had flash, so he wasn't going to Cataclysm early. Now I see Duro in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, it's not going to be an all-out or anything like that, but I think that the Shen is still very dead. Yeah, Cuzz just turns out the lights. And normally, a ninja would be really happy about that, you know, able to hide and be all stealthy and stuff, but not this Shen. He is just dead. KT also now going to be able to grab themselves 3 grubs. And this is a big advantage starting to unfold. Chovy in this bottom lane just trying to get pressure where they can, but a teleport back down here from Jiwoo will mean that all of this experience will be taken. Does miss the cannon. That's a little unfortunate, but yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Ult didn't quite help with that one. But KT able to get a lot more things go in their favor already. They've got the first dragon. They got all 3 grubs. Bit of a gold lead now. And just feeling a lot better in this game compared to game 1 where they really just couldn't make headway into Gen.G.
Yeah, certainly looking much better. And I was really worried about KT moving into this game. We spoke about it before, but it was a pretty hopeless loss in that first game. And this time around, KT looking just so much better. And it's really great to see. Cuzz especially here in this one, ahead by a very large margin when it comes to the camps, but also being at 2-0, Hexplate done. This Nocturne is going to be very problematic here for the guys in gold.
I think the thing with Nocturne is you can so quickly join into the lane with your ultimate, and so being responsive when your lanes communicate and say, hey, they burnt this, hey, they burnt that. You know, you obviously ulted onto Duro when the taunt wasn't available. Went for Chovy mid before the ult was even available, just when the core wasn't there. Now, Duro going for a heavy trade and effort, but won't find anything more.
Yeah, Jiwoo is going to be able to throw out some of these Mystic shots, but with the Spirit's Refuge, Duro is not really going to take damage from that one. Ruler is slowly but surely getting some items together. Obviously does want that Ludens as soon as he can, as there's another taunt onto effort. Duro not going to be able to find too much, though, as far as that trade is concerned, and in fact takes more damage than he gives.
And notably, we talked a bit about how, you know, this sort of combo, the Ziggs Shen, was very much a roam-focused combination. We haven't really seen Duro move too much, and I'm wondering how much of that is down to the consequences that we saw coming in on this patch, whereby, you know, you will lose out massively in terms of XP and your progression on your support item if you roam too heavily. Duro obviously does now have the ult and has passed the threshold for that reduced XP, so could do so if he pleases. For the time being, it's KT going aggressive into the enemy jungle. They will be spotted here.
Yeah, Blast Cone is going to be used.
Remember, Effort still has no flash.
All right, Ruler moves over. Not find too much. Hextech Minefield is down as now Kiin is in a little bit of trouble here. Perfect going aggressive, finds the all-out angle. Flash out. Kiin wants nothing to do with this, and Perfect shuts him down. It's a solo kill for the Cassante. Cue the Showmaker copy pasta as Perfect really putting KT in a great position.
Beautifully played. I think Kiin went for the knockaway and Perfect buffered it with his ult. Now though, they're looking for bot lane.
Yeah, even more. There's a great encore as well, as Ruler's already almost dead. However, Duro is going to be able to take that first kill. A bit of a shield comes through onto Canyon, but it's not enough. The unleashed power from BDD, it nets the double. Chovy not able to do anything, and the Frozen Tomb is still there. It's just not able to change this play. And KT moving into a massive advantage.
They go for the aggressive play, and KT are instantaneous with the response. Cuzz going to clean up the Scuttle and the Dragon, 2 for 1 here. And Ruler off this base has Ludens, but maybe that extra power could have gone a long way in that fight because it took a while for the initial target to go down. We'll see this replay here. So I think Kiin was looking for the opportunity to knock him away, and I think he used it as Kiin ulted, so it just got cancelled.
Yeah, I think it was just the all-out and went through it.
So pretty beautifully played there by Perfect in here. So that initial Q from Ruler doesn't connect, and then it's just the fact that the Seraphine survives maybe just a bit longer than you'd want. Canyon, even the Stand United can't save him, and then with the Stand United down, Ruler just gets nuked. The flash ult by BDD really sending a message.
Yeah, and this Lissandra really not able to do anything at this stage as well. So Gen.G looking a little worse for wear. It's a Hextech soul this game as well, with an Ezreal in it. Like, oh my goodness, as far as the souls are concerned, KT, I don't think could have rolled higher after grabbing Double Dragon. So in a brilliant position this time around. It's KT looking to try and turn this series and pick up the victory. Still some fight left in them. Trinity Force now done for Jiwoo as well. And doesn't quite get that value, as there's that Ludens in effect. But not enough damage, really, to make me feel like this item spike has meant too much.
You know why?
This 1v1.
3 extra magic resist.
Yeah, must be it.
Must be it. And one of the things I was actually talked about a bit was Ezreal.
Oh, there's Paranoid. All right, out goes Canyon. Let's see whether they can actually escape this one. True Shot Barrage is good over the top of him as the beat drop comes through. Canyon realizes that he has to kind of commit to this, and he's still just gonna die. The unleashed power comes through from BDD, and they shut down the jungler. Not a whole lot to grab here off the back of it, but still getting some extra picks, some extra control, and that tempo remains with KT, 2.2k the lead.
KT just consistently finding these angles to punish Gen.G. After a game where they really struggled to push the pace of the game forward, they are doing so right now. And I honestly feel like they had less of a need to in this game. Right now we have a gold lead everywhere on the map for KT. I say as efforts keep blinking between 0 and 1 gold.
Yeah. Massive.
You see Cuzz just fearing away Duro. And yeah, something that I'd seen talked about a bit was Ezreal's win rate had dropped with the changes, the extra magic resist, because he does a lot of magic damage. But that's into an AD carry who got the extra magic resist. Ruler on Ziggs did not get that, and so Ezreal's still performing as we saw him do so on the previous patch in terms of his damage into this matchup.
Yeah, Perfect just going to start going aggressive onto Chovy, and I don't think you can really walk up to him. I know he's only got Merc Treads as far as magic resist, but this is Lissandra. You just don't do that much damage.
I don't think you need more. And I think Chovy having to go up against Cassante in the side lane just feels horrible. And as much as Kiin can do a good job of poking BDD from a distance, if you ever get caught by a Scat of the Week, that might just be it, especially since Nocturne can often join very quickly. And this is a replay of how that play started. As soon as Canyon walks up, they make the call to go for this play. And it looks like maybe he's going to be able to walk it out, but Effa comes in. Canyon ults to buffer the CC, but it just means he's dead over there rather than dead next to the wall where he originally was.
Oh, really going to have his backstop. That's a little bit annoying. Good True Shot Barrage there from Jiwoo as this Rift Herald looks to belong to KT. Not a whole lot that Gen.G can do about it. And this feels just like the shoe is on the other foot, as we do have a Hex Gate taken by Canyon. I'm not sure whether it's a good idea, though, and by not sure, I mean it's definitely not a good idea, though, as he does get a little bit of value there, but the Encore does come on through, and Canyon's just going to wander on back. There's the Paranoia. Just gets a drive-by exhaust from Duro. That was very, very cute. The taunt comes down for the defense, and Ruler will be able to at least stay alive. That was very suspect from Canyon. Just very weird.
I love Hex Gates. They're really fun. They're really cool. You know, Jayce did a lot of marketing for them.
He did.
I can understand that in the middle of the game, you just want to ride to the other side of the map and shout "wee!" But that was not the time, Canyon. There was better times to go for that journey.
Don't ride the roller coaster against the team that's made out of a roller coaster, you know? Like, it's just never going to lead to good times for you, and only good times for them. Let's have a look at it one more time, because we have to, because we cannot turn off replays.
Yeah, I think the game plan here with the TP coming in, they're like, hey, if I can find a flank angle, I have Cataclysm, I can make something happen. But the problem was they didn't have the vision set up in the area, so he was essentially just face-checking, but while going through the Hex Gates, which kind of sort of tell everyone with a big loud noise and the moving projectile that you're coming.
Yeah, that was the problematic part. He wasn't very stealthy. Maybe he needs to take some advice from Duro, who is actually a ninja, about how he's supposed to do that. However, Duro hasn't been injuring very well, so maybe not the best sensei at this point in time.
It's kind of like in films when they shout like a catchphrase or something. Well,
yeah.
When they shout like, surprise! And it's like, you could just not shout that.
Yeah, or just like Super Galaxy Rumble in general.
Yeah.
Just does that over and over again.
Okay, this would be third dragon for KT if they can get it. Gen.G set up on the objective and trying to get some poke down.
They are actually landing some of it, as effort is down to 50% at least to start this one off, as Duro on a flank angle might be able to get his way in here, as they've swept out that ward that he does put down. KT's still looking a little bit low, but the True Shot Barrage is going to even that one out immediately. The Claw of Doom comes in, but it's not going to quite work. There is the Scatter to come down onto Canyon, but he's thrown around like a ragdoll and eviscerated. That's going to be Mega Inferno Bomb, not doing enough damage, and KT will take the Dragon and the Soul Point along with it, and then just walk away.
Gen.G did not find an angle to get in onto this backline of KT. They got a little bit of poke down, but they just couldn't follow up. But I think KT just so controlled, so patient, dealing with every threat that comes their way. It's been a while since we've seen the Glacial Tomb from Chovy, and he's just not getting windows to use the ability.
Yeah, that's because it's called Frozen Tomb.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would...
So he can't use Glacial Tomb no matter what he wants.
I can see where the issue came from.
Yeah, he needs to ride Bristle if he wants to use that.
He went for the claw, but kind of deemed this is not the situation to engage on. The Dragon's already gone. Canyon jumps in, flashes out again, but just no headway was really made. And I think they didn't see the angle. We saw Canyon go in for the Dragon and then was like, well, I'm here, I might as well make something happen.
Yeah.
But the end result is it just kind of looks like they're floundering, and KT very focused, don't give anything up. Now with 3 Dragons in pocket at 4,500 goldie, they're in a phenomenal position.
Oh dear, well, there is a flash away here from Ruler. Knows that the Fear Tether was just never going to be very good for him and would have spelled his death. So he did have to flash away, no Stand United there from Duro.
One of the things with Ziggs is, I say this as they're trying to get the shot tie, I don't think they're going to succeed. One of the things with Ziggs is that he's so good at keeping champions away from him with his satchel, with his mines. But into Nocturne, he's always going to reach you. And then the only way to make distance between you is a satchel, but he just spell shields it. So it makes it really uncomfortable. A champion who enjoys standing far, far away from you and throwing bombs at you to suddenly be in his face. Chovy, whew,
that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, the Ezreal really spiking at the right time. Jiwoo with the Mirror Mana and the Triforce doing a lot of damage. And, you know, we talked a lot about last game, there being timing windows for KT. Starting to feel like Gen.G might have missed theirs. Getting a bit of karma in this one.
I would say so. Even though Karma was fearlessly banned, she finds her way back in to this game number 2. And yeah, we'll see whether KT can play it as cleanly as Gen.G did, because honestly, if they do, there's just not going to be hope. As once again, Cuzz is going in. There is an angle looked for here by Duro, but he's just too late to the play. And it's even an assist over to Jiwoo on this Ezreal 007. He has a license to kill, although he hasn't done so yet.
So frustrating in this game. Oh, Canyon.
That
was a
few in directions.
That was just a drag. There was no flag, so it wasn't a drag. It was just.
It was just a spike.
Yeah.
It was a point.
That's the thing. Cuzz with the Hex Plate, with a bunch of kills and assists, will have a bunch of Ultimate Hunter stacks. His ult is such a short cooldown. He just keeps firing it whenever Ruler steps up, and making him have a really uncomfortable game as a result. On a pick that normally can just operate from such a safe distance, it's also allowing Jiwoo to play very aggressively and deeply push that mid wave. And now they're moving down towards bot lane. Kiin will hit effort with a Shock Blast, and that's someone who, when you hit them, it's like, oh, that actually does damage. But so much of this game has been him hitting perfect and it's just really not contributing much.
Exactly. Perfect is looking for item number 2 pretty soon as well. Looks like Jack Shows should be coming on down. So there's Cassante just getting more. Yeah, there it is.
I mean, that's the thing, is you have the Merc Treads, and then you have some MR on the Jack Show, and that's pretty much all you need against Lissandra.
Yeah, he can just build like Thornmail next.
You can just
he'll be very happy.
Stack armor, and Gen.G are going to have a nightmare time cutting through him. I mean, there's the Ziggs as well.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe you do want to have, like, maybe just build a Rook Urn or something like that, and then never take damage from Lissandra or Ziggs.
Yeah.
And Jayce was already just too far behind. Not able to really do that much. Kiin still trying to get money where he can, but right now just trying to take care of this mid lane that is pushing on forward. And Gen.G just
that's a deep TP flank. That is a crazy deep TP flank for Chovy. And notice, Black Cleaver, Rocket Belt, and Shadow Flame just got finished. Gen.G are like, right, it's time, we're going to make a fight happen. Chovy's going to take the Hex Gates.
Well, Jiwoo is right here. Not exactly what they want to see as the Frozen Tomb does come down. Mega Inferno Bomb comes in. There's the Paranoia Dash Cannon to get Chovy out of dodge as Canyon looking for some angles because he only loses half his health bar and the rest of Gen.G will just disappear. This is KT saying, all right, nice little flank, but that's just going to allow us to kill you. They'll take the inner turret in the bottom lane and they'll probably even take more.
At this point, I mean, they'll take the inner turret, they'll take the inhibitor. I don't know if they're going to take Nexus Towers at this point, but Gen.G try and find the flank, try and find the fight, and just shut down completely. Notably, Effort rushed McHale's. We so often see Seraphine's delay this item. He was like, nope, I know what my job is. I stopped the...
Oh, Cataclysm on a 3. That's a 5-man knock-up. The problem is the rest of the teammates are dead, so Canyon going to find another flag and drag. Cuzz just gets out of there. The last turret shot almost kills him, but still... KT gonna be stopped at least here. They don't lose anyone, and this is still an incredibly tough situation for Gen.G.
They can't chase, so KT get what they wanted. Maybe we're close to overstepping at the end, but they're able to back away and disengage with a ton of gold in their pockets. Dominant control this game, and the Dragon's up again.
Yeah.
It's Hextech Soul, so they're moving back onto the map. I don't know if they're going to be able to make any headway towards that. We see this replay, so Jiwoo gets ulted again. Effa has the McHale's. So this play just doesn't work. And then when the re-engage comes in, look at this Seraphine ult that catches Canyon and then clips onto Ruler. So BDD can just step up and ult him. A lot of value from Effort Seraphine there. And when Kiin goes for the play, the stasis catches him off guard. To me, this was just Gen.G not really respecting some of these item buys from KT. The fact there wasn't McHale's and a Seeker's Arm Guard seemingly caught them off guard there. Yeah. But ultimately, when you're that far behind in gold, you're kind of desperate. You just have to make something happen.
Yeah, I respect it. I think that you kind of just have to send it and face the consequences. Force KT to play well against you, and KT absolutely did. So they looked a little bit silly. We could be on the verge of BDD's 500th win here in the LCK, which is very, very cool. Just need to win one game in this series, and you will reach that milestone. But okay, Gen.G wanted to try and hold on. It's an 8.5k gold lead at 25 minutes, guys. This is
Duro
shellacking territory.
Actually picked up a QSS here on Shen.
Okay.
So really concerned about the CC that's flying out towards him.
Well, Gen.G will be able to spot that this Baron is going down. Canyon not in the brush. He's just standing there, stalwart.
Yeah, it's Terry again, so not doing that much damage to them. The Seraphine enough sustain to stop it. And this is just going to get taken unless Ruler...
I don't even think he's going to go for it. Nope. It's going to be the Ezreal that takes the Baron. So, no vision, no chance.
Hextech Soul and Baron. I think Gen.G are between a rock and a hard place. And the rock, for some reason, has like barbed wire wrapped around it that's electrocuted.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What does the hard place have?
The hard place has a spikes coming out of it. Like there's a fist in the wall, like a gauntlet, and it's very spiky.
Oh no, that's the worst rock and hard place that I've ever heard. As Paranoia comes down, this is a scary place for Gen.G. Nice little hammer boot there from Kiin to try and get this one back as he goes to the skies. Effort moves over as Canyon looking for an angle to get himself in. Not showing himself just yet, seeing whether KT are going to get baited forward. And the beat drop comes down, finds the knock-up. They should be able to get rid of Effort. Wow. There's that. But can they do more? That's the question.
Well, it was a nice pick. Very quickly eliminated effort, but a fair few tools used, and I don't think KT really needed effort.
Yeah, I don't know whether they noticed.
Yeah. They have a lot of power still available to them, and I think Gen.G, a little recourse picked up there. We do see the Serelda's Grudge coming in for Kiin. We know that both Chovy and Rula are working on their pen items. That might be a spike that can give them a bit of a hand, but this much of a deficit with the Hextech Soul against them, Elder spawning in 3 minutes, they need a miracle at this point.
I mean, is an Elder flip a possibility? Is that their only way back? Maybe they just won't even have to do that because really, they'll just kind of win.
It really shouldn't be. If you're KT, you have so much control with your comp, such ease to engage. If the Elder gets even lower than like 3,000 HP, you've messed up.
All right. And KT normally play perfectly, so I think we should be fine on that
it's
front.
Just every time I'm saying something, I'm thinking back to that series I had against T1.
Yeah.
Oh man, was it a 14,000 gold lead?
14,000 gold lead, yeah.
Well, they're not at a 14,000 gold lead, so you know this is new ground.
Yeah, this is comfortable for KT. When they get too far ahead, that's when things go wrong. So thankfully, they haven't hit that threshold just yet. Words of Hut. Scout of the Week comes in onto Canyon. He takes a fair bit of damage, but Jiwoo as well looking a little bit low. Oh my god, never mind. He's looking a little bit godlike here in this game. 3-0-7 now, trying to find these Mystic shots, and he doesn't even have 4 items yet. My god, this Ezreal is just ridiculous.
And you know, they banned the Ezreal game 1, did Gen.G. And you talked a bit about how it's a pick Jiwoo's had success on. He's having success on it again. Gen.G not able to match him here, just watching as their base gets decimated.
Yep, top lane inhibitor turret's going to go down. The inhibitor follows suit. And now we have Nexus turrets under fire. This bottom one is already under half. As Jiwoo is just free time here with his turret. The scatter is fantastic. The claw comes down, but Chovy doesn't follow it. They're just trying to deal with the waves where they can. The paranoia comes in to take down Kiin, but he does have Stand United. That's going to be Duro down, though, and now Canyon tries to get to safety, and there isn't safety on this map. KT are absolutely everywhere as Chovy is at least able to play some smoke and mirrors. And now it's Jiwoo just focusing down the Nexus. This will be game 2. Going over to KT. BDD hits 500 wins, and we get a game 3.
Huge achievement for BDD, and honestly, after that game 1, I feel like the hope was at its lowest point.